From the book of Genesis, chapter 28, we read verses 10 to 15. I read from the New King James Version. The reason is, this is a pulpit Bible. It was translated to English from copies of the original transcripts. And that's the reason why we use it. It's not because we love it. And there are a lot of other translations. They are good, but when we stand here, we choose to go for this one. And that's how our text read. Now Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. So he came to a certain place and stayed there all night, because the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head, and he lay down in that place to sleep. Then he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up on the earth, and its top reached to heaven. And there the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and your descendants. Also your descendants shall be as the dust of the earth. You shall spread abroad to the west and the east, to the north and the south. And in you and your seed and all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Behold, I'm with you and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land. For I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. The Lord dealt with me about the things in our lives that happen to just come to an abrupt stop. And they function no more. When we are fully expecting them to be moving and to be on the go. And then he said to me, this is frustrating a lot of believers in the church. When their things just come to an abrupt stop and they stall to their own frustration. They ask themselves a lot of questions as to what the hell might be going on. And finding no answer to that is frustrating them the most. And so he began to deal with me that I should address the church about these things so that they may have insight about that and be frustrated no more. And when some things come to a stop and cease functionality, because a wise driver, should his vehicle happen to lose power and come to a halt, definitely he won't pray for it to take off again. And then if he's responsible and wise enough, he will look for those who know.
Okay.
And then so that they may come and be of an assistant to him. They will look at the car, and having gone around it and find fault, then they will tell him, man, it's like this journey is possible, but there is still 1, 2, and 3 that need to be attended with your vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we will take off again. And so this is what I am doing these days. Addressing the church on when the journey stops.
Come on.
And that is what I have today for you. Journeys do stop at times. We have got a message that we are here in the Lord, in the faith, in a marathon.
Yeah. Come on, sir.
And if we are in a marathon, I must say to you, we are in a journey. But there are times in life, in that marathon, where you will come to a halt. Like what happened to our fellow Africans cited by the apostle at the conclusion of his delivery last night. That man was running, but the journey stopped.
Yeah. Okay.
Somewhere. The journey do stop. It does stop. And my problem is many times when it stops, to the people who are not enlightened in as far as being wise is concerned, frustration kicks in. And you begin sometimes to do the things which in the normal state of things you don't do them. They are not done by you. They are not yours. But simply because the journey came to a halt and it find you less wise and knowledgeable, you become frustrated.
Okay.
When the journey stops sometimes, you will not see the miracles you purport to see. Not because God is not at work, not because He is not using you, simply because in the nature of the journey there are stoppages somewhere.
Come on, sir.
Many, when the journey stops, they will do the things you don't expect of them. Here is where the staging of miracles in the name of the Lord begin to take place. Because your prestige is higher than the Lord's. And when you suffer, you feel you must salvage it no matter what. It becomes more important than the name of the Lord itself. The journey do stop sometimes. And I'm taking you to a man whose journey stopped. And I will give you the reason why. You are running, Pastor TJ, a church. And this church is a new church. Brethren, you are running your own lives. And in your own lives, things are not at the high pace they are supposed to be at always. Because there are times and places when the journey will stop. And the Bible, with clarity, tells me that Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. But so when he came to a certain place, and when he came to a certain place and stayed there all night.
That's right.
Why did he stay there?
Come on.
Because the sun had set.
Hey, come on.
He stayed there
Oh, no.
because the sun had set. This guy had an all-night one. The journey stopped. He couldn't walk any further anymore.
Okay.
It stopped there. And the Bible is clear. The sun had set. Now this is the word I have for you. Some of you things have stalled because the sun has set. They are not going anymore, and you are not supposed to go when the sun had set. The Lord gave me grace. He gave the apostle grace to plant churches on our own. We have got all the scars ministry had given unto us, of which the likes of you, my son, shouldn't have. Of you, the likes of Pastor O, shouldn't have. Of which the likes of you, Bishop Apst, shouldn't have. Because we have gone through that. We know that in this journey, in this marathon, there are places where you reach and your sun set. And when the sun had set, a lot of you, especially young pastors, because you are on the move, you feel you must be doing something. When the sun had set, this man stopped doing things. He went for an all-night one because the sun had set. It sets with many. It starts in your life. It starts in your business. But zeal do not allow you to stop when the sun has set. Should your car come to a halt and you force it, maybe when the water in the radiator is boiling,
Come on.
and because you are serious with your journey, you want to reach heaven on foot, and then you will push it, restart it. I tell you, the engine is going to cease. Maybe even with some of you, or whoever is listening to this word, the journey have stopped, the engine have ceased, because you forced it when the sun had set at a place where you shouldn't be doing anything. My son, in the life of the church, there are places where the sun do set. And when it sets, no matter how zealous you are, you have to stop. I have my brother here, the apostle. This man, he used to preach nearly 5 services every day. I was on the same trend until one day in the morning I tried to climb out of my bed and failed. And my wife helped me. This man has been preaching because of the zeal of the Lord. At times he would preach so much that to him he must feel satisfied because the Lord is coming.
Come on.
But he suffered a physical damage that cannot be altered now. Because even when it had set, he was continuing. Obi, stand up. You saw him doing it even when you were a child. He used even the resources he shouldn't have used when the sun had set. You are the firstborn in the family. You didn't enjoy as much as you thought you should have. Sometimes you may not tell him to say, "Old man, you owe me." But the zeal of the Lord can do that. I cannot explain to you the damage that I suffered. But because when the sun goes down, we feel we should still be working, the anointing will be there. But the Lord will leave everything in your hands, whether you choose to continue when the sun has set. But one thing you must know, there is a lot you will miss when you will be working out of the Lord's time, but in your own time. Be seated, Pastor.
Go. Too deep.
These places are there. And they are there in the life of the church. The sun do set. And we force ourselves sometimes. You will raise the dead by staging things when the sun had set. Let me quickly delve into what you should not miss before I come to the end of what I'm saying to you. During this time, when the sun sets, it is the time when the journey must stop. But the stoppage of the journey does not mean that the race have ceased. It is simply a fact that you have reached a place and a time when the sun goes down. This is the time of the blurring of a vision. When the sun sets, darkness sets. And when darkness sets, things are not as clear as they are when the sun is out. During this time, when the journey stopped, when the sun had set, it is time in your life, in ministry, in your businesses, when things begin to seem to be not clear. They just seem to be, they don't look right. When that time comes, know that the sun has set. You have reached a place where you must go for your all night. And that is the time. Things don't make any sense anymore. It is the time when even matters pertaining to your vision, they will seem to be not as real as you saw them the time the vision was given to you. It's when you reach this place. I passed this place, I know it. When this time comes, your vision is attacked. And at that time, you must not act the way the fools do. When the vision is under attack, do not defend the vision carnally. You will suffer the most. Go for your hibernation. Go for your all night. This time comes in the church. It is time where some of the believers will say, our church is not like that church. The people of that church are enjoying their church. Why is it that our church is not like that one? Why is it that, Pastor, you are not making the church to be like other seven? In this ministry, we don't go by Rucherema. You hear what I'm saying? No, that is done by confused people. When the vision is attacked, you no longer see things clearly. Because even the vision at that time.
Hey.
And what you must do, you go for your all night.
Go for your own night.
You go for your hibernation.
Yes.
Don't move.
Don't move.
Don't go forward.
Come on.
Because at that time, others are waking. Others are doing their things. You will even hear of their prosperity.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir.
You will hear that another pastor had bought a new helicopter. When you had reached that time where according to the Lord, it is the time to stop. The journey must stop there. Otherwise, you won't serve by the heart, but you will serve by the head. And a stroke may be your next friend visiting very sooner than later. Are you with me here? This time comes when the things do not go simply because the sun had set. And when it sets, darkness comes. And when darkness comes, the vision is blurred. And when the vision is blurred, things don't seem to be clear anymore.
Hallelujah.
It is the time where many change vision. When the sun set, they change their vision. They change their slogans. At this time, they change a lot of things. These are the people who don't go for their all night. They change, they juggle with the vision. To say, no, let's make it attractive. Let's add 1, 2, and 3 until you put in the vision properties that comes from the kingdom of darkness. The properties that won't be helpful to you any further. It is when the sun has set. The journey must stop. And at that time, it is not because God is not with you. It is with you. How you understand God when you walk with Him tells when the sun sets. And because when it sets, those who walk with Him will understand that now I must go for my all night. I am competing with no man. In this vision, Pastor TJ, you compete with no man. You are running alone in your own track. You determine your pace. Run. That marathon. You don't look, you may be inspired by what others are doing, but know your stuff. Know your vision. Cherish your insight. It is when the sun has set.
My God.
And hear me on this one. When the sun set, don't go back. Because right there, when the sun sets, it is where many a minister ask themselves questions. Did God really call me? It is when the sun set. Did God really call me? Things are not going the way they are supposed to go. And when you come to us, we will give you nothing. you will lay hands on you and say, Lord, let the sun remain set for a long time for this world. Don't go back. Here we ask ourselves, did I hear God well? Such like Pastor O and others whom we called because they are born here. And we called them into this ministry. They like it or not. They belong to this house. Here is where you ask yourself question, did the old man see things well here? It's like I can be good in other industries, not in this one. Don't go back, because the setting of the sun does not mean that the sun is no more. It simply means that it has gone down to go up again in the fullness of time.
Hallelujah.
Oh, glory. Don't go back. Even when you may hear the sounds of prosperities with others, some have stolen, some had gotten there somehow. Don't listen to their stuff. Know your God and go as His Spirit prompts and as His will directs you by the way of His own word. You don't go back. At that time, when the sun had set, do not allow darkness to win over you.
Yes, sir.
Go for your all night. This is a wonderful time.
It is.
It is when the sun set. It is wonderful time for you. The problem is that we get too much worried of where we should have been. Let me down where we are here, son. Let me tell you this. Be careful not to overtake the Lord when the glory have stopped. You overtake the glory. You will be alone there. Be careful of that. When the sun sets, it doesn't mean that God is far away from you. He is with you right there and there. But it is time for you to take the advantage and see how much of your rest Jesus become when your sun set. Understand Matthew 11:29 well, where it says, take my yoke, says the Master and the Lord, upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. When the sun set, rest in the Lord. It is an opportunity for you to rest in the Lord. Don't be in a, oh my God. Don't kill your hard drive because of thinking too much when the sun has set. will even have to ask him, Lord, let me learn how to rest in you. This is the time to take the opportunity. Let me tell you this. If it were not that, the likes of me and him, we wouldn't be alive now. We wouldn't be alive. Seek the presence of the Lord and rest in him. Listen to what David said in Psalm 37. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret because of him who prosper in his ways. Take rest in the Lord. Let those who prosper their way. You will prosper your way. But when the sun has set, have you all night and take refuge in him and rest in him. Don't worry. When your neighbor, people will be flocking in his church. You don't know what is inspiring them to flock into his church. You don't know. That's why I don't believe in a flood of people that just come. With me, I have a serious problem, and I work very hard. I know that I don't have the best stuff at that time. You will have to work very hard and very, very hard. Don't worry. When your neighbor is prospering, you are on leave, but on leave with the Lord. In the time of your night, and at that time when you rest in the Lord, the journey did not stop. It is just that the Lord is busy with you in another realm of ministry. This is when the journey stops, simply because the sun had set. You study big time, only to find that you are not even able to assimilate of what you are trying to take in. Listen to me today. Knowledge first does not stay in the faculty of knowledge you have. Not at all. Not at all. Students, hear me well. When that time comes, it is time to say, I no longer see things clearly. Jesus, may I find rest in you. You will be refreshed right there. Beloved business people, when the business go down, know that it is just that the sun had set. It is not that your business is dying. The sun had set, and in the fullness of time, the same sun that had set shall rise again. Oh, Lord of this. Don't worry. When your friend is changing messages, when he is given stuff and you are receiving nothing, I received this word from a servant of the Lord who has gone to be with the Lord, Dr. Lawrence Korombe. We were there together in that meeting with my brother. He said, Sometimes you can work very hard and pray too much, and you check the results only to find that they don't match what you are giving. He said that does not mean that you are a bad fellow. You may be having another grace, maybe of praying too much, even of intercession. You may be having the grace of helping others who may do things better. A preaching man in South Korea, Seoul, a man known in the world of being the man who had the first largest church in the world. That man was a preacher. The Yohidu Full Gospel Church, it was not as large until another man came. Yeah, another man came and said, man, this is the concept that can change everything. That man who came to him, he never had a big church. No, not at all. But he was provided by God because the sun was rising for Dr. Yonkich. To say this is the concept, he brought it and he put it down, the concept of a cell church. Then he became a man with the largest church in the world. When your son had sat, take the advantage of the presence of God and rest in him. Don't mind about what's going on around you. I'm about to stop, but I'm not going to stop without telling you this. At that time, it is the time to assure yourself about destiny with the word of the Lord. You assure yourself with all the promises of the word because they are needed when your sun rises. The psaltery in Psalm 119, 105 said, your word is a lamp to my feet. Oh my God. It is a lamp and a light to my path. I have a path I am following. I need the light of the Lord. And I know destiny shall be reached. And I know I will make it. Because I am in my all night. And when my sun rises, the devil will know me. That devil that is laughing now, saying, look at him. It's like he is stuck. When the sun sets, it is a way of the Lord to bluff the devil. To say, look at them. It's like they are going nowhere. But the devil does not know as to what is going on in your all night. Because at that time, impetus is added in your vision. Because at this time, in his all night,
come on,
something which is very hard became so refreshing to him. A stone became a pillow to this man. a stone is very hard, my friend. But when your sun had set, and you are in here all night, and you are resting in the presence of God, everything that is known to be hard in your head is going to find simplicity. It's going to find simplicity.
That's right.
Oh, gracious God.
That's right.
Everything hard, everything that causes a sleepless night with you, that thing will be used of the Lord when the sun has set, when your pillow is a rock, because at that time your vision is going to be strengthened. And Jacob saw a vision. He saw a vision when the time of his night had come. This shouldn't be a time of frustration with you, because the Lord is doing something with you. The journey does not stop that way. The marathon does not cease as long as you live. But it's just that at a certain place, during a certain time, the journey shall stop. And at that time, it's the time to see the vision of a vision.
Come on.
Isn't that you are sleeping there having a vision already?
Okay.
Now that vision you have, you are going to receive a vision of it.
Come on.
It is when the night comes. These are times when the vision of a vision comes. It is a time when I say, come what may. Nothing is gonna stop me. The vision you have become more real. Let your frustration stop tonight. Let it stop tonight. Let it stop tonight. When this night comes, there is no reason, Pastor TJ, to be frustrated. We got frustrated for you. We saw this night. Your wife once wrote me a 4-paged letter. It was during the time when the sun had set. A 4-paged letter. I did something to her which I won't tell you, because some of you may go to the prosecuting authority that I be arrested. She wrote me a 4-paged letter. She said, you and this wife of yours, you're mad. You don't take care of me. You love all these people of this church. When they come, you even give them my room. When they come, you don't even talk to me. When they come, you will pray for them. And I will come to you excited to get your attention. You will say, go, get out, my girl. And you will take care of those people of yours. I want you to know that I am your child and I need your attention. And she's doing that. By the time when the sun had set. By that time, I had no new suit. I used to wear the ones given by the whites, some of whose hands were longer than my hands. They were even much heftier than myself. I was a thin minister, and she told me stuff. But when she began to be a minister in the church, I will be home with Mama, and she won't be home, she will be in the church, busy working and praying. I said, my goodness, I wish I can write a 4-pager. Yes, you will append the signature down. This is the time for your vision to be strengthened. Jacob's vision was strengthened. And he got this word from the Lord, which I also got. The Lord is assuring him that his expansion will be different.
Come on, sir.
He will expand towards the north, towards the west, towards the south, and towards the east.
Okay.
Meaning towards every direction. This is the word of the Lord to you, Pastor TJ and UI. I'm calling on you to come and stand here now.
Oh, hey.
When night comes, we might have taken time to expand, but you won't take time.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Some people's ministries, they concentrate on something special towards one direction. But with you, it won't be like that. To the south, they shall find you.
Hallelujah.
To the north, they shall find you. To the east, they shall find you. You are simply called Pretoria East. No. You have to take that east away, because it don't talk about you. To the west, you are there. You are everywhere.
Amen.
That is not the only word. And the Lord is saying, He will be with you. Wherever you go. When the sun set, don't worry about everything.
Hallelujah.
You now know the mystery of His presence. You just hide there. You will see what you have never seen in this marathon of yours. I'm going to call on the doctor. He's coming to lay hands on you. Shall we rise, all of us? Jesus. Teach us all.